as you know, that recently there are lots of voices in the West to call for China to pay for the damages caused by the coronavirus. So what's your opinion?
I guess it's going to be hard to calculate those kind of compensations. And also, it's politically very sensitive because it kind of involves saying someone takes the blame. And also it refers back to historically when China was kind of given reparations, had to give reparations to the European powers, the colonial powers 120 years ago and before. I mean, I think what would be more sensible is to acknowledge that at the moment there's a colossal shared economic crisis. And the only way I can see us getting out of this together is having better economic relations, because I think that's in everyone's interest. We have obviously significant differences elsewhere, but we do need to work together to at least restore some levels of growth. So I think talking about reparations and compensation is the wrong kind of language, but there is a shared responsibility.
Yes, and also we realize that right now, U.S. officials, some are very senior U.S. officials, are intensifying efforts to accuse of China. Some senators are asking to freeze Chinese debt, U.S. debt, and some are asking for China to pay for the damages. And they also insist to investigate the origin of the virus or attacking that the virus come from the Wuhan's lab. What's the main reason behind this kind of phenomenon?
I mean, everyone needs to know, including China and the outside world needs to know what was the reason why this started, where it started from. I mean, that's a natural part of the inquiry. But I think it shouldn't be politicized. I mean, this isn't about blame. This is about just finding out the facts so that we know how to deal with this problem or problems like it in the future. So that will be useful. And scientists in China and outside are working together to try and do that. But I think obviously the United States and China now have very serious problems, and those problems predate the virus. They predate, they predate even Trump in some ways, but certainly under Trump they've intensified. So, for many politicians in the United States, particularly in the Republican Party, this is an opportunity to continue that conflict, but in another way. There's also, I think, another issue, which is that, of course, politicians, particularly in multi-party systems, are going to have to find someone to blame. For sure, they can't take the whole blame for themselves. I mean, no one's completely to blame for this, right? I mean, it's a shared problem. But also, certain politicians will be saying it's not my fault, it's someone else's fault, and especially if there's going to be an election coming. So that's true in America. There's the November election, presidential election. So this kind of, overlapping of American politics and international relations is going to, I'm afraid, to intensify.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor Braun. Thank you for your time.